Okay.
Four, three.
Coming up tonight on Middle Tennessee News, Rutherford County educators and students are continuing to adjust to school during a pandemic. Rutherford County Commissioner Joe Jernigan has resigned after 22 years, and we'll have some election coverage for you as well at the end of the night. All those stories plus your local weather and sports, Middle Tennessee News starts right now. Good evening. I'm Christy Jones, joined by Morgan Gonzalez in the studio. Welcome to Middle Tennessee News. The results for the 2020 presidential election are here. Former Vice President Joe Biden is set to be the United States' 46th president. In an election that took 4 days to call, Biden beat current President Donald Trump with an electoral vote lead of 76 votes. Mail-in ballots were the main reason the election process lasted as long as it did, as it took time for them to come in and to be counted. President Trump shows no sign of conceding to Biden and plans to challenge the results. After 8 long months since the first death in Tennessee due to the coronavirus, a vaccine may not be too far off. Earlier today, pharmaceutical companies Pfizer and BioNTech announced early stages for a COVID-19 vaccine that is looking promising. Results from Pfizer's early and incomplete testing showed the 90% effectiveness against the novel virus. The two companies are set later this month for emergency use approval from the Drug and Food Administration. The federal government is also providing vaccines to all people at no cost. Even if you do not have health insurance, you will be able to receive a vaccine.
Murfreesboro emergency responders are crediting multiple civilians for saving a motorcyclist's life. He was trapped underneath a vehicle following a crash Saturday, November 7th. The civilians jumped into action using car jacks to lift the SUV off the injured motorcyclist. Murfreesboro Fire and Rescue Department Captain Clay Estes said the actions took by citizens before we arrived definitely improved the outcome for the injured driver. The crash took place on Mall Circle Drive next to Home Depot at 5 p.m. A Home Depot employee also helped out by stabilizing the SUV with a floor jack and concrete blocks. The Smyrna Police Department is asking for help looking for a runaway teen. Danielle Rivera went missing from her home in Smyrna on October 26th. The 16-year-old is 5'1" and around 96 pounds. She has brown eyes and shoulder-length brown hair. Danielle also has a tattoo of a cross on the middle knuckle of her left hand. Authorities say she is believed to be with a teenage male. Her family believes she is in Antioch near Murfreesboro Pike. Anyone who has information on Danielle Rivera's whereabouts is urged to contact Detective Steve Martin of the Smyrna Police Department. The Murfreesboro Police Department says they need help identifying a person who stole from the Home Depot on Old Fort Parkway. Detectives say the unidentified male stole 6 DeWalt cordless chainsaws on October 26th. Police say that the man was seen getting into a white Ford Edge that appeared to have 2 other people inside. Murfreesboro Police ask anyone who knows this person or has information to contact Detective Ed Gorham at 629-201-5507 or email 0300@murfreesborotn.gov. Students and teachers in Rutherford County recently changed the way learning looks in schools.
Many families are feeling anxiety as they deal with the unexpected changes to school due to COVID-19. Those changes included temperature checks, partitioning playgrounds, and eating in classrooms. Teachers have had to switch up ways they communicate with parents. Ashley Lang says that the communication has helped her and her daughter.
Lauren has some anxiety, and so when I first met the teacher, I was concerned about that just because I wasn't going to get to go into the school to see her, but it's made it a lot easier with her.
The switch to digital hasn't been easy for many teachers, though. First grade teacher Stacy Martin had to teach in person and live online at the same time. It has been one of the hardest things she's done in her 29 years of teaching.
I constantly question myself, and I've never done that in all the years I've been teaching. I felt like I was a first-year teacher again, and to be honest with you, I didn't feel that insecure when I was a first-year teacher.
Students are told to check their distance while in the hallways. Martin has also taught them that it's okay to give one another an air hug. She says the students miss hugs, but she has to remain on guard. Not following guidelines will be putting undue stress on her families. The kids also worry for one another when someone is absent. But the changes have allowed Martin to find new ways to engage. She says these changes have had positive effects too, like helping kids grow closer to others. In Murfreesboro, Carson Sisk, Middle Tennessee News.
The Rutherford County Recovery Corps is holding an open house on November 10th. The event is being held by the Rutherford County Drug Support to honor Veterans Day. Tours of their mental health, veterans treatment, recovery, and DUI courts will be given to the public. Recovery Courts Director Trish Breeding says staff will be available to answer questions about their programs. They will also be taking up monetary donations that will fund resources like monthly drug screenings and program fees. The event is being held at 525 North University Street from 2 to 4 p.m. and is open to the public. Those who are attending are encouraged to wear face masks. For 22 years, Joe Frank Jernigan has served the Rutherford County Commission's office as District 6 Commissioner. Jernigan announced Monday, November 2nd, during the Stealing Committee that he will be resigning from his commissioner position. Jernigan asked his wife, Patsy Jernigan, to announce his letter of resignation to Mayor Ketron, fellow commissioners, and his constituents. After testing positive for COVID-19, Jernigan realized it was in his and his District 6 constituents' best interest to step down. Jernigan plans to take time to focus on his health and spend more time with his family. Still ahead on Middle Tennessee News, we're going to bring you some footage from our election special, Vote 2020. We'll have a look at Congress seats and how early voting affected the election after a massive turnout. That's coming next on Middle Tennessee News.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Middle Tennessee News. Pat Marsh has represented District 62 since 2009, covering Bedford County and parts of Lincoln County. He is still in office, so let's see what we can expect next term for Congressman Marsh.
District 62 Representative Pat Marsh took office in 2009 in a 100-day special election when his predecessor had to leave office unexpectedly.
And when I won it, it gave the Republicans the majority in the state, which I didn't realize how big the race was.
In the past, Marsh contributed to the growth of the educational system in Bedford County.
since I've been here, we put in about $1.5 billion in new K through 12 money, which I'm really proud of.
Also in his portfolio is the construction of new, wider roads for the citizens of the county.
So we were able to put in about, I don't know, probably several $1 million more a year in the fuel tax revenues, which are going to build our new roads, pave our roads. The road out of Shelbyville going to Tullahoma, 41A, has probably been a 5-year project, which should be finished in the next year.
Marsh has also put time into the local justice system.
One of them was lawsuit liability limitations for businesses, schools, and churches, and all kinds of organizations to say that they couldn't be sued over the coronavirus problem.
Marsh's agenda for the next term starts with the construction of a new campus for the Tennessee College of Applied Technology.
It's about $40 million project, and the one that we're talking about doing in North Bedford County would be the mega TCAP for Middle Tennessee, and I'm really proud to be working on that.
When asked how long Marsh plans to represent his district, he says that he has too many plans to leave office anytime soon.
And I've had a good run of it, and I've done some great things, and I have a few more great things that I want to accomplish before I leave.
In Murfreesboro, I'm Will Stevenson, Middle Tennessee News.
The state of Tennessee experienced record numbers of ballots counted due to early voting this year.
Rutherford County and all of Tennessee are having more and more citizens vote early. Rutherford County voters, both young and old, are heading to the polls to cast their ballots. For some voters, they made their mark and voted for the first time in a major federal election.
I just want to vote early because I don't know if on election day I'll be busy or have something pop up, and I wanted to do my civic duty.
Other voters have been voting since 1982 and haven't missed the early voting period yet.
It's what's convenient, but it's important for everybody to vote. There's a lot at stake anymore.
There are 30,000 more registered voters in this election than in 2016. 74% of Rutherford County citizens voted early in the 2016 presidential election. Rutherford County is seeing an even higher number this year. In the last presidential race, 64% of all registered voters voted early or on election day. There are more early votes in this election than total votes of the last presidential race in Rutherford County. Over 120,000 citizens voted early compared to 2016's turnout of almost 80,000. Polling centers had strict policies on social distancing and had hand sanitizer available for voters. During the last few days to vote early, masks were added to the list of what to bring when voting as the Rutherford County mask mandate went back into effect on Wednesday, October 28th to further their Rutherford County Responsible program and combat the recent spike in cases. Signing off, Christy Jones, Middle Tennessee News. Early voting numbers were sky high compared to past year's presidential election. Along with Rutherford County, Bedford was no exception.
Some people have decided to vote early by mail this year due to the unknowns of the COVID-19 virus. But for some people here in Bedford County, that is not the case.
I feel like the importance of going to vote is because our government was based upon and founded by the people getting to make decisions. And if people don't go out and vote, then basically we're giving the government more control over who is put into office instead of who we want to be there.
Josh Bullard believes that your vote is guaranteed to be counted if you vote in person, as he thinks the mail system is not a reliable way to cast your vote.
Voting in person and voting early is, well, not necessarily voting early, voting in person is central to our electoral system. Your vote is guaranteed to get counted if you vote in person.
While some people factored in COVID before voting in person, Amanda Bullard believes that it presents the same risks as other sicknesses.
When I went to vote in person, COVID never really crossed my mind. I honestly feel like the risk of getting COVID is the risk of getting any other disease like the flu or pneumonia, so it was never a factor in my decision.
For Middle Tennessee News, I'm Zachary Reeves.
We covered all local elections and Tennessee House and Senate seats. If you missed our election special Vote 2020, you can find it on our social media accounts and website. And after the break, Morgan will join us with a full weather report. Stick around.
Son, love is like the ocean. You have to tread the waters.
Dad, that's not the kind of help I needed. Jessica, will you go to prom with me?
Yes.
Thousands of teens in foster care can't wait to share their first with you.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Or maybe it's just a little moment. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Once there was a boy who did the same thing again and again. One day, he was told he had autism. He got help and slowly learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Natural disasters are a fact of life in the U.S. And between activities and school, chances are you won't be with your kids when they happen. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids can help your children feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
My text to emoji ratio has gotten a little out of hand.
A little?
Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
Welcome back to Middle Tennessee News. The summer season is apparently doing everything in its power to cling to life, as we can see by the very warm and sunshiny day we had today here in Middle Tennessee. Our high this afternoon reached 80 degrees, and yes, you did hear me correctly. Despite being nearly halfway through November and my desperate need to put up my Christmas tree growing stronger every day, the warm weather has been doing its best to stick around. Tonight things will be cooling down, as they tend to do when the sun goes away. Our low this lovely Monday evening will reach about 61 degrees with clear skies and a 10% chance of rain, and that rain will be carrying into the next few days. As we look at the rest of our work week, we're facing another far too warm day tomorrow, as temperatures will reach the high 70s and lows will stay in the low 60s. But with a 40% chance of rain in the late afternoon tomorrow, maybe it won't feel too hot. You know, emphasis on maybe. This weather anchor certainly has her fingers crossed for a cooler Tuesday. Wednesday will be the start of a string of more fall-like days, though. Thank goodness. The high for the middle of our week will be dropping a whole 10 degrees compared to the day prior, with a high Wednesday of 68 degrees, early morning showers, and a low in the high 40s. Thursday will be looking pretty similar to the day before it, with the high staying in the upper 60s, the low going down just a little bit to the mid 40s, and mostly sunny skies. And, well, they don't say thank God it's Friday for nothing. The high Friday will only reach about 65 cool degrees with cloudy skies and an evening low of 43. Now that sounds like a realistic and ideal November day, at least to me. That is all for our full weather forecast for today. When we come back, Nathan Vaughn is over in the MTN Sports Den with your full sports report. Stick around.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzz and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Middle Tennessee News. The Warren County Pioneers had a great season this year, and it's partly because of the Syrup Squad.
The Warren County Pioneer football team is having one of the best seasons they have ever had. But that is not the only thing people are talking about this season.
Syrup Squad is a...
Syrup Squad.
Syrup Squad.
Syrup Squad.
Every time we flat back someone or we score a touchdown, we're always on the sideline drinking it.
Basically, Douglas Wells, our center, came up with the name of the Syrup Squad. We had seen it online several times, and we eventually just started it ourselves. Brought a syrup bottle along, and it just took off from there.
Yeah, the Syrup Squad, obviously they're a little dear to my heart as well, because I'm an offensive lineman here. So, these guys, C.J. Taylor and Kaysen and all the guys that get their name in the paper and get all the yards and things like that, they're not successful without those guys in the trenches, and of course it's been awesome to see those guys come together and form that, and of course the Syrup Squad kind of just evolved in its own, because they are a unique group of young men. The syrup. And if you know anything about football, you know what the concept is that with pancakes. And I didn't realize they was drinking as much syrup they was during the game until my wife told me. Next thing I know, it became a tradition for me to drink it after the wins on Friday night. So they talk about a sugar rush. I don't see how those guys are doing it, but
got to keep the figure.
Yeah.
In McMinnville, Bethany Porter, Middle Tennessee News.
The Syrup Squad played their final game last Friday following a tough playoff loss to Mount Juliet. Well, Cascade High School also made some noise this season, qualifying for the playoffs for the first time since 2014.
Cascade High School is a small school located in between two small towns in Middle Tennessee, Wartrace and Bowickle. However, what they lack in size, they make up for it in heart and toughness, as for the first time in 7 years, Cascade football qualified for the playoffs. Senior captain and two-way starter Seth Countess emphasized how much making the playoffs means to the tight-knit community, saying, quote, "I really feel everyone that has supported us along this journey. It has brought us all a lot closer together." Coach Jake Tyre reiterated that fact, while also pointing out how much the team has improved, saying, quote, "I really am proud of the way that we have gotten better and grown together as a team from week one until now." 4 years ago, Cascade went winless at 0-10. This year, they made the playoffs for the first time since 2014. Despite the loss in the first round, Cascade is looking to continue to grow and build on the momentum of this year into next season.
Dylan Robeck on the kick.
With Middle Tennessee News, this is Noah Maddox.
Well, that's quite an accomplishment, and it sounds like Cascade's football program looks like it has a lot of momentum heading into next season. Well, thank you for joining us for Middle Tennessee News. I'm Nathan Vaughn with Morgan Gonzalez and Christy Jones. If you missed this or any show, you can watch them on our website, middletennesseenews.net. And make sure to follow us on social media sites as well, Facebook/Middle Tennessee News or at Middle TN News on Twitter. We'll see you next time on Middle Tennessee News.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign, not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Never gonna let you go.